wellness, and so the connection to wellness. I think it's something that, as an expert from just talking last weekend, I would know so much about it. But the idea that I lay out on the table all the stuff that I do and things like that, and I'm going to actually park that when I'm going to say it there, right? Because we're going to talk about this after I read an ad in a few minutes. But so how would someone know if a life coach would be a good idea for them?
I went coaching myself now in 2020. It's like, pandemic. I was like, oh my God, what's going on with my life? And I remember at the time kind of going, should I go back to therapy? But I remember going, I don't need to go to therapy because I'm just going to be going back over stuff I've gone through before. But I remember saying, I need a way to look forward, move forward. And that's when I life coaching, because it's now in the present moment and where you want to go.
That's very interesting.
It's helping you become unstuck.
That's really interesting for me, because again, I talk about therapy a lot, and I've been to therapy, a number of different types of therapy, and at the moment I would definitely say that I'm okay not to be a therapy at the moment, Yeah. So that's the kind of idea that it's a different option altogether from therapy, and it's something the way, like you talk about, moving forward in a different direction rather than just going back, because that's my whole thing about therapy now, is it helped me an awful lot, but it wouldn't help me anymore at the moment, if you know what I mean. I've gone through, I don't want to repeat my story to anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that some people are looking for alternatives.
Yeah, that's how I felt at the time. I said, if I was to go back to therapy, I'm going back over the same stuff all over again. I've already gone through with another therapist. And then I was like, well, what? And then I was looking for other options at the time as well, because I was really struggling. Like, it was 2020, you know yourself. So I was really struggling. And then that's when I said, I'm going to look into a life coach. But I needed help with kind of day-to-day stuff at the time, because like I was working from home, I was in the house the whole time, things like that. And I was really struggling, because before the lockdowns, I would have been out the whole time. I had something different on every evening. So it was a massive change for me then to be stuck in the house the whole time. So that's when I came across coaching. And I remember thinking, I'll go for a few sessions, kind of look at day-to-day stuff, what I can do to keep myself kind of occupied and sane. Well, as I moved on through, and then as I kept going through sessions, I actually said I'd actually like to do this. Good. So I found it really beneficial, really, just for, helping me move forward, see where I want to go.
Yeah. And go ahead.
It was you're asking people questions, because we all know what we want deep down, but it's just helping people get to the root of what they actually want.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about 2020 of it being such a dramatic year in general, and I think and I think we talked. Everybody was speaking about the idea of like what we do when we get out, of the pandemic, and we move kind of forward. And to me, in my experience, it's been quite odd. It's been, if we're talking about Athlone here, just going into the town at the start was quite difficult for me, because it was obviously kind of deserted and very strange. And, we had all these kind of different rules that we had to follow and things like that, they're all good, by the way, in case anybody bloody texts or whatever, they're all good, and I agree with them. But it was very strange to me. And even going out, I went on a night out, my first night out, and we just went for something to eat. Like, there was a group of us. And even then, I just didn't feel, I'd been so used to doing other things, like staying in and coming to terms with the fact that I was just going to be staying in nonstop, and this is the way it was now. I can see why people might need that little bit of coaching to help them through.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
I want to. So if the first appointment or the first meeting or the first of anything is kind of an anxious time for it doesn't matter what it is. I think a lot of people would say it, not just me. What would a first appointment with yourself involve?
I will obviously introduce myself, things like that, and I would ask the person what is bringing them to coaching, what's going on at the moment. So you know, you might hear somebody saying, well, I'm not happy at the moment, I'm feeling stuck, I'm feeling, you know, very like things aren't moving forward. And again, it's basically me getting the person to talk and then asking them questions on what they're after saying.
Mm.
So if I had like, you know, I've had clients that say after losing their jobs, looking up stuff, you know, going back to college and things like that. But it's actually like, because we don't, like in our regular lives, we don't get the chance to sit down with somebody else and discuss exactly what we want. Where, you know, if you meet with your friend, it's you say something, they say something, you say something. That's the conversation. But it's actually sitting down with another human being and talking about you, talking about what you want. And by asking questions as well, you're getting them to look at things in a completely different way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about the conversation with friends, because it does become a kind of this. Well, I did this. Well, this is how I do it to help you, and it does like, and that's just like a natural conversation that we have with people. But it's
Yeah.
not. It's not the same thing as having the ear of someone who has trained in this and kind of, you know, and it's not.